They're your children.
The next thing she ditched was the bill.
How much money did you give Miss Hunsicker for taking care of your children?
Well, I was giving them food and things like that.
That's not sufficient. That's what I would say to a man if he was standing there, and that's what I'm saying to you.
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Daycare provider Teresa Hunsicker is suing former client Veronica Cotton for child care costs after Veronica left her kids with her for 6 months.
Order. All rise. It's case number 120 on the calendar in the matter of Hunsicker versus Cotton.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated, sir. Have a seat.
Miss Hunsicker, you run a daycare center?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
I've had a family child care since 1987.
In what year did you first meet Miss Cotton?
2018.
Who introduced you?
I actually received a phone call from my neighbor who is a church secretary, and she said a mom had been calling looking for emergency child care for 4 hours so she could attend a training at work.
Who was this?
My boyfriend.
Is he the father of either of these children?
No.
How old are your children?
13 and 8.
Okay, without going into a whole long story, you ended up, Miss Cotton, leaving your children with Miss Hunsicker because you were having some difficulties. Difficulties, I don't know what they were related to, whether they were related to substance abuse, whether they related to lack of housing. I don't know for what reason, but you left your children with Miss Hunsicker for how long?
About 6 months.
And in the 6 months, because you brought your children there, then became sort of friends, you were having difficulty, you asked her if she could take care of them for a while, she said yes, and anyway, you left them there. During any of that 6-month period, were you in a rehabilitation center?
No, I didn't need to be.
Were you in jail?
No, I didn't need to be.
Were you working?
Yes.
During that 6-month period, because that's what this is about, during that 6-month period, how much money did you give Miss Hunsicker for taking care of your children?
To her herself, none.
To her?
None.
To her. And how did you think the children were being supported?
Well, I was giving them food and things like that. I had already given them their clothes.
That's like a father saying to me, I take care of them, I bring them diapers. You know how many times I've heard that? Bringing them food. Did you, let me ask you this question, on a daily basis?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner? So that means you saw your children every day?
I did, but not breakfast and lunch because they were getting that at school.
So what you're telling me, Miss Cotton, is that you brought your children dinner every day?
Yes.
Is that correct?
No, it is not.
Of course not. Okay. And how much cash did you provide Miss Hunsicker for clothes, taking them to a movie, anything that a 13-year-old and an 8-year-old might need? Cash.
Zero cash.
Zero cash. Well,
they already had everything that they needed.
No,
and
they
I
didn't.
told her that anything that they needed extra, I would take care of, not a problem.
You took, listen to me, Miss Cotton.
I saw them every day.
Miss Cotton, if what you're suggesting to me is that you weren't in jail and you weren't in a rehab program, that you're suggesting that you saw your children every day, which I doubt, and that your contribution was bringing them dinner, that's not sufficient. That's what I would say to a man if he was standing there, and that's what I'm saying to you, because there's no difference. They're your children. Where is their father?
In a different state.
For the time that the children were living with you, did you have a child support order with regard to the father?
No.
Why?
Because it had never been served to him. When I don't know his whereabouts, it's kind of hard to serve him.
Were the children ever receiving public assistance in the state of California?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh is not an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
In what year did the children start to receive public assistance in the state of California?
2017 for some time, and then 2018 for some time.
When in 2018?
I believe in June until December.
And what happened in December? What happened in December of 2018?
I didn't renew it.
During what period of time did the children reside with Miss Hunsicker? Is not an answer. You should know when your children resided. 13 and 8 resided outside your home. Month and year that the children resided with Miss Hunsicker.
They were over there in October, and she kept them in 2018.
Just a second. So just tell me when she started. October of 2000?
Well, she held them from me, Your Honor.
Just listen to me. I don't care. Do you understand?
Well, the other judge did. That's why they denied her case.
I'm on a whole different track from you. I'm on a whole different track from you. In what month did the children begin to reside with Miss Hunsiger?
In October 2018.
Is that correct?
October 4th, 2018.
October 1st, 2018.
No, ma'am.
was
October 4th, 2018.
No, it wasn't.
Until when did they reside with you?
May
In May.
10th, 2000.
Months that I can count, you were receiving public assistance for the children. Did you turn over any of that public assistance that you were receiving to the children to Miss Hunsiger, who was taking care of the children?
No,
the answer
because
is no.
instead I filled up
It
her
wasn't,
Your Honor.
groceries. I put groceries in her fridge, Your Honor.
No, she did not, but she did use her food stamps once to buy 1 gallon of milk and 1 quart of orange
Just a
juice.
second. I'm not asking
No, I
food
didn't.
stamps yet. I'm just asking cash. Cash
I
you
didn't
get.
receive any cash.
Oh, you said you were receiving both. They're from June 2018 to December of 2018 for the children. And if the children lived with her October, November, and December, then you got cash.
I didn't receive cash. I was working, Your Honor.
I don't care if you were working or not. You just told me that you were receiving
You said
welfare
and
for the
according
children.
to
For the children.
the state, welfare is food stamps and cash.
Miss Cotton,
And or.
you are.
So I was receiving
Okay.
food stamps. I was not receiving cash.
Okay. Well, I suggest that you should find out where the father of the children lived, because whether or not you made an agreement with Miss Hunsiger, a contract with Miss Hunsiger to provide for necessaries for your children, you as a parent are required under the law of every jurisdiction to provide for necessaries for children: food, clothing, shelter, medical, all other that. Not a stranger. You're required to do that. And you didn't do it. That's what she's suing for. And she's entitled to it. So
I didn't
the only
provide
thing
their housing. That was it.
I don't care. You said you were working. Great. That's your responsibility. Now let's move forward to your counterclaim. You are counterclaiming her for the return for $5,000 for return of property, the children's property. What property do you allege that she has?
Everything of
yours?
theirs.
What?
She has
It's not an answer. Let's go. What does
their
she have?
Xbox console, my son's bike, my daughter's bike, their scooters, 2 iPads, my motorcycle helmet. She has all
Just
of
a
their
second,
clothes, their shoes,
just a
their
second.
undergarments, bedding,
Is what you're...
toys.
Do you have anything that Miss Cotton brought with her when she deposited her children with you?
I do have the children's clothing. I have been trying since May 20th to get her to join me and sign for them in front of a notary for liability reasons. She has refused to do so. I have text messages showing each and every time I have tried to get her to sign for everything.
This is the answer, because no good deed goes unpunished. I'm going to suggest that you box everything. A police escort. She is going to, at 5 o'clock next Thursday, put the things at 5 p.m. next Thursday. She is going to put all the children's boxed things outside. You have a private house?
I do.
Outside of the house. If you do not pick it up at 5 o'clock, she's going to call a trash and have them removed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Fantastic.
If you're not there,
Thank you.
if you're not there, everything goes. Do you understand? You
Yes,
cannot
ma'am.
come alone. That takes care of your counterclaim. Judgment for the plaintiff for the
Fantastic. What about
necessaries
my
for the
items,
children
Your Honor?
in the amount of $5,000. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
She is money hungry as well as single white female.
Most of what she said was not true.
God is not on her side, and God doesn't like ugly.
The more you help others, the better a world we have.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of Renison versus Corbiciero, step forward.
Kelly Renison is suing real estate agent Giuseppe Corbiciero for property damage and an injury caused by movers.
Mr. Corbiciero, this is your problem, sir. You have a real estate company.
Correct.
The plaintiff purchased a condo through your company. During the negotiation process, you said to her, if you buy a, what do you get, 5%?
No, it was 2.5%.
You were co-brokered with somebody else?
Yeah, correct. There wasn't.
What do you, that's not a, it was a 5% commission. You only got half because you
Correct.
were co-broker. If you buy the condo through my company, I'll throw in the moving. That's what you said to her.
No.
What is it that you said to her?
I said, once you purchase the condo, because you're a single woman, I'm going to be helping you out with the movers that we have with the other company.
So,
It's different. I didn't say I'm going to pay for your moving. I said,
no,
we're
I
gonna
didn't say you would pay for the moving.
Right.
I'd say you would take care of the move.
Correct.
And what happened was you sent a mover. Were you one of the movers?
No, I'm the owner of the staging company.
So you're not a moving company. You stage
Correct.
property. And you have a van.
That's my van.
This is van.
Your van.
Yes.
So you stage. It's a whole little business.
Correct. You go.
Perfect. And the people who moved her damaged some of her property. That's what happened. And you said, well, she got it for nothing. And, you know, she said the TV was damaged. I bought her a refurbished TV, and they did damage the mattress a little bit, but I had the mattress cleaned, and I even offered to have it sewed. I mean, I read your answer. She said she wanted a new mattress.
Judge Judy continues.
Buy it through me, and I'll move you for free. You could move her for free, but that doesn't mean you have to move her using people who were unskilled and damaged her property.
And later today,
Prior to giving her the deposit, did the two of you know each other?
I only knew her vaguely because of my boyfriend, which was her neighbor.
Are you sure you wanted to move right next door to him?
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Kelly Renison says real estate agent Giuseppe Corbisiero owes for damage to her property and an injury caused by movers.
Your defense is she got moved. May not have been perfect, but she didn't pay for it.
Right.
It got thrown in. That's really your defense.
That's right.
She didn't. Wrong in the law. Your contract with her, whether you believe it or not, was if she purchased her condo through your company for which you received a 2.5% commission, which amounted to how much money?
$2,400, I would say.
Okay. And you have your own van. It's your van, so you weren't paying any van. And I assume if you have a staging company that stages apartments, you have other people that either work for you part-time or you pick them up on the street when you need to pick up people full-time.
They work on, depending on the job, so they get paid per job.
So you do not have full-time employees that work on the books. They're part-time people that you hire per hour as you need them.
No, per job. It's not per hour.
Per job. So you would give them so much per job.
Correct.
Great. I'd like to know how much you gave them for the plaintiff's job. You should have to look at something. No guessing.
No, I remember. I got it here. So we paid, I believe, it was from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. This guy's got 12 hours. They got $240.
So you cleared about $2,000.
Sure. Gross.
Your problem is that once you take on the responsibility of moving her, you are responsible for any damage that's caused by the people who moved her. Because but for this agreement, she could have gone someplace else and bought the condo. Your agreement with her was buy it through me and I'll move you for free. Well, nothing's free. You could move her for free, but that doesn't mean you have to move her using people who were unskilled and damaged her property. You're not allowed to do that. So I'd like to see pictures of the mattress.
You mean the mattress that was bought on offer up for a couple $100?
I didn't understand a word you said. Oh, yeah, they damaged the mattress. You need a new mattress. You don't have to. All right, do you have a bill for a new mattress? Your new mattress is $4,328.
With tax.
With tax. Judgment for the plaintiff. Listen, if you got your head in the way of somebody moving, that's your problem. You look old enough to stay out of the way of people who are not doing their job. So if you got hit in the head by them, you should have stayed out of your own way.
Yes, ma'am.
Judgment for the plaintiff. We're finished. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Great way to get a brand new mattress at the end of the day.
I think it was absolutely fair.
Just to help somebody that's a single woman and do it with her heart. And ended up actually getting sued.
Always go professional.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Maylee versus Russo. Step forward.
Loretta Maley is suing Linda Russo for the return of a deposit on a trailer that she never moved into.
Miss Maley, you're requesting the return of a deposit that you gave to Miss Russo for the purchase of a trailer.
Yes.
Prior to giving her the deposit, did the two of you know each other?
I only knew her vaguely because of my boyfriend, which was her neighbor.
Are you sure you wanted to move right next door to him?
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Get a hold of her, and I thought maybe she might do the honest thing and give me my money back because I'm an honest person, so I thought she might be.
That's not being a dishonest person.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Loretta Maley claims Linda Russo stole her deposit on a trailer she never moved into.
Now, you gave her the deposit when?
I gave her the deposit on September 27th, $1,500 in cash.
And the total purchase price of the trailer was?
Was $2,700. I was supposed to give her the remaining balance on the 3rd of October, but when she phoned me, I told her I changed my mind.
Just a second. I want you to tell me what the conversation was when you purchased the trailer. You negotiated the price. What were you asking for the trailer, Miss Russo?
$2,700, dear.
Can you tell me why you were going to give her the balance 5 days later?
Because I'm on disability and I get paid on the 3rd, so I was going to give her the remaining balance on that day. But when she called me, I told her I changed my mind.
The question is, if your contract is done, you can't just change your mind. So when did she call you?
She called me on the 3rd. But we didn't have a contract or the money.
Oh, you just told me you had a contract.
No, not a contract. It was just a receipt.
What you just testified to, Miss Maley, is that you had a contract. You bought her trailer for $2,700. You only had with you $1,500. The reason you were delaying the final payment to October 3rd was that you didn't get your disability check until October 3rd. There was no contingency. The sale was completed on September 27th. That's what you just told me. You just told me that you made a contract with her. You agreed on a purchase price of $2,700. You gave her $1,500 of the $2,700 and said, will you wait for the balance because I get my disability in 5 days and I'll give you the balance. When you didn't come over with the balance, she called you and you said, I changed my mind. But you can't change. Once you have a contract, and the contract doesn't have to be in writing.
I didn't know it was like that.
Well, I know you didn't know it, but that's why you're here. That's what I'm telling you.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by.
Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
So now I'm going to move over to you. Do you still live in the trailer?
No, ma'am, I do not.
Who?
His girlfriend?
Are the friends of yours living there as owners or renters?
Owners. They bought the trailer.
And how much did they pay you for the trailer?
They gave me $1,000 for the trailer.
Well, Miss Russo, it seems to me that what you did was you turned around and you said, I'm using her money and I'm going to sort of give it to my friends for the $1,000. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. Well, why did you do that?
I had been in that park just too long, and I needed a change.
All right, it's fair. Anyway, Miss Maley, you lost your deposit because it was a sale. You left it and said, I will finish paying you on October 3rd. That's not a refundable deposit. You can't change your mind. If she had sold the trailer for $2,700 to somebody else, then I would have made her give you back your money because she sort of mitigated her damages. She decided not to do that. She's under no obligation to. By the way, what took you so long to get here?
I was trying to get a hold of her. I made phone calls. She just ignored me. And I thought maybe she might do the honest thing and give me my money back because I'm an honest person. So I thought she might be.
That's not being a dishonest person. You can't change your mind. She had a closed deal for her property. Okay, we're done here. Thank you very much. Case is dismissed. Bye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
And on the next Judge Judy.
Did she sweep up his customers?
I had no idea that this was prior his customer.
He slandered me. He called you a thief. Yeah, but you were.
Next Judge Judy.
I feel it is very dishonest and that she's a terrible person.
It was a verbal contract, and she broke it.
I always get it in writing.
She should learn that you need to get it in writing when you go to buy something.
I know for a fact, though, I paid her.
Facts are right here. I can show you the facts.
Her pushy friend couldn't wait to repossess a car.
You didn't pay for periods of time, according to this.
I was late sometimes.
All the time.
I'm just trying to help you.
Don't help me.
But you can only push so far.
Something wrong with you. I mean, are you trying to make the person who has to decide this case dislike you?
Judge Judy.
You are about to enter the courtroom of Judge Judith Scheindlin. This is Judge Judy.
Paula Casso is suing her former best friend, Nicole Martinez, for the return or value of a Kia Soul.
All rise. It's case number 92 on the calendar in the matter of Casso versus Martinez.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated.
Ms. Casso, you and the defendant were good friends for many years. According to your complaint, in 2016, Ms. Martinez bought another car. She had a car on which there was a loan. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You made an agreement with her in 2016, according to you, to take over payments on the car. You would pay for the car, pay for the insurance, and when the car was paid off, it would be yours.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that the agreement?
No, ma'am.
That's baloney.
I'm sorry, but it's not. I have text messages. I have everything. I can show you what I have.
Okay, so what you're telling me is from 2016 to 2019, the plaintiff paid on the car, and she was just using it. After she finished paying off the car, she was going to give the car back
Originally,
to you.
it was...
She was going to give the car back to you. I'm getting your position. She paid on the car, and your position is that your agreement with her was that she was going to pay on the car and pay for the insurance, but when the car was paid off, she was going to give it back to you.
She couldn't even pay the payment. She never made a payment. She never did it on time. She was constantly late.
That's not what I asked you. What I asked you was that you let her borrow the car.
I felt bad for her. She's my best friend. I've done a million things for her. I can name them.
Miss Martinez, I just asked you a question. My question to you was, that's what you want me to believe, that she took the car.
No, ma'am, that's the truth.
That she took the car, she paid for the car, and at the end, when the car was paid off, she was going to give it back to you.
She didn't even make the payment. She was constantly behind. She was 3 months behind when I took it away.
Can I see
3 months behind.
Can I see the title to the car? Where's the title to the car?
The title is in my glove compartment. It's in the car that she has.
Can I see the title to the car?
It's not in the glove compartment. It's not there. I don't know what she did with it. I don't know if she stole it. I don't know what she did with it. The title is my name. The car's paid off. The loan is in my name. I'm not sure what else I need to show you.
I have text messages.
Just a second. It's very, very easy. The car was not in your possession from 2016. What month, Ms. Casso?
May.
May of 2016.
That's not true. September of 2016.
December. December of 2016.
September.
There's something wrong with you.
Probably.
I mean, are you trying to make the person who has to decide this case dislike you?
No, I would love for you to love me.
No, just a second. Is that what you're trying to do? You said to yourself, I'm going to make the jury who has to decide the facts in this case dislike me.
Your Honor.
Out. Out. Perfect. Was the car in your possession from December 2016 until March 23rd of 2019?
At times, yes, ma'am, it was.
Just a second. Tell me when that was. So far, I've May 2016 to March 2019. I would like you to tell me, I have a lot of papers there, in what period of time did you have physical possession of the car?
Multiple occasions.
No, that doesn't answer my question.
You want specific dates?
Yes, that's what I asked for. Specific dates when between December, she says May, say December of 2016 and March of 2019, you had possession of the car.
I don't have specific dates, Your Honor.
Okay. How much were the monthly payments?
$350 for the car and $100 for insurance.
Who were they made payable to?
I sent her the money.
How?
At first, it was deposit in her account or cash, and then as of October 10th is where I would send it through the Wells Fargo.
October of what year?
Oh, 2017.
May I see the proof of payments from October 2017?
Your Honor,
I didn't ask you a question. Ms. Casso, is that you made payments, but they weren't always the $350 a month.
No, I was.
You didn't pay for periods of time, according to this, and then you would make up payments, or you'd pay $100.
Yes, ma'am. I was late sometimes, yes.
All the time.
And
I'm just trying to help you.
No, don't help me.
Okay.
Don't help me.
I won't help you anymore.
Don't help me.
Yes, ma'am,
I've been
I'm sorry.
doing this for 50 years. I don't need any help.
I'm sorry.
So it looks as if you were inconsistent with your payments.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the total number of payments that you made equaled the total that you put down here, $5,545?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Right, so you had the car for 27 months,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, right.
Well, that's $7,000. And according to you, giving you credit for everything that you have here, you paid $5,000.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, then you didn't pay what you were supposed to pay.
Could you repeat that?
You were supposed to pay $7,000, and you didn't.
From what date?
I'm giving you every benefit of the doubt. I'm saying it's from December.
You are.
You said it's from before that. Before that, it would be even more months.
Yes. Well, there are some that are missing because...
I'm just going from these dates.
True enough.
From the date you said you started to pay her, by transferring it, you were supposed to pay her $7,000. You only paid her $5,000.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know either. And she took the car back.
Yes.
And you had the car for over 2 years, right? According to you, you had the car 2.5 years.
Yes.
And all you put into the car in the 2.5 years that you can prove is $5,500.
Yes. Because I didn't have... I opened that account in May of 2017.
All I'm telling you is you drove a car.
That's
Consider
not
it
true
this
either.
way. You didn't make all the payments you were supposed to make, and she repossessed the car. So I want you to figure it this way. If you rented a car for 2.5 years, you would have paid more than $200 a month for a car.
I know for a fact, though, I paid her everything that she needed.
No, but it's not true according to this.
Facts are right here. I can show you the facts. Sorry, I'm just trying to show you.
If it wasn't sent through there, then I gave it to her. I have text messages proving that
Then
she
I'd
said
like-
she would give me the
just a
title after I paid it off. We thought it was going to be paid off in May of 2018.
Again,
And so
not
she
true.
sent me that it was going to be like 5 more payments. And so then 5 more payments, that's when it was paid off. She said, give me $1,450 and I'll give you the title.
I'd like to see those text
I'd
messages.
like to see them, too.
I'd like to see the text message. You transferred $1,450 to her. I'd like to see the text message to her. If she says, send me $1,450 and I'll send you the title, then that makes it easy.
Your Honor, can I show you what I have that I actually paid?
No, not your turn yet. I'll tell you when it's your turn.
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's in the papers
no.
I gave you.
Oh, well, you gave me more than I asked for.
Okay, so maybe they're in the back.
Would you show this to the defendant, please? Her payment to you of $1,450 is reflected here 2 days later.
I agree.
Okay, and you told her you would give her the title to the car.
Right, I agree, but this does not say $1,450. This is just saying when you pay me in full. She hasn't paid for the vehicle.
No.
I'm paying $360 a month, and I can tell you what I'm paying $360 a month. She's paying what she assumes is full for her. So maybe it is in full for what she assumes she's doing. We never had an actual conversation. This is just saying...
I want you to read both pages of that text. You say to her, you owe me $1,450. You owed me $1,750. You paid $200, and then another $200. You owe me $1,450, and then you can have the title. 2 days later, she sent you $1,450.
Page in the back does not say that.
Yes, it does.
It says $1,750.
Read on.
I just did.
No, just read on. Read where it says you owed me $1,750. You paid $200. You go through the numbers. Now you owe me $1,450.
Right, what she was behind in payments on, not in total in paying the car off full. The car, I paid $1,500 down, so I'm going to give her a free car? I'm going to let her pay the 1.5 years that I paid on it, and she's going to get a free car. She didn't pay me numerous times.
Just a second.
I'm paying $360 a month, and she's paying me $350. There's never a payment in full. That's what she owed me from behind, not paying me in full.
Can I have that, please? I want to see any payment that you made on the car after November of 2000. Listen to what I'm doing. No, you don't show me what I didn't ask for. You let me finish my statement. I want you to show me any payments that you made on the car after December of 2018. I just want you to show me any payment that you made on the car on or after December of 2018 after she sent you the $1,450. Just show me. Do you have any proof of payments of any payments?
Of course not, because it was paid off.
Do you have any proof of payments that you made on the car? Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $5,000 you count.
Excuse, you may step out.
I am happy with the results, but I do wish I got my car back.
It's my car, my title, my car. It's very simple facts.
I guess it was just a altercation.
A physical altercation, Judge. Did you even hear anything about it?
Actually, she assaulted me first. I just defended myself.
Literally, altercation. There's everything. It's all here. And yeah, that's great.
Just an argument. I don't know.
Because she's a drunk idiot. Drunk idiot.
I have no idea. I guess she was never really a friend.
I don't know, but I'm glad that she's not my friend anymore. Very glad.
And now, the next case.
All parties in the matter of King versus Willoughby. Step forward.
Nicole King is suing 25-year-old Rebecca Willoughby for the return of money she paid for a Toyota Solara.
Miss Willoughby, how old are you?
I'm 25.
Who do you live with?
Myself and my daughter.
How old is your daughter?
2 years old, Your Honor.
When was she 2?
May 4th.
Did you ever live with her father?
Yes.
In what month and year?
2015.
Until when?
2017.
What month in 2017?
December.
What happened?
We separated.
Did you move or did he?
He did.
Where were you living in December of 2017? The address?
Tehachapi, California.
Address?
Campo Court, apartment A.
How long did you live there?
About a year.
Where are you currently living?
The same place.
Where were you working in 2000?
At the end of 2017, I was working at Albertsons.
Where are you working now?
Same place, Albertsons.
Since 2017?
I'm sorry, 2018.
I ask those questions because they become relevant to your case.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
You received all of these money orders?
Yes.
And did you total all the money orders, Miss Willoughby?
No, I did not.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you total all the money orders? That would make you a pretty stupid person. And you explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nicole King says Rebecca Willoughby owes for the return of money she paid for a car but never received.
According to your case, Miss King, you and the defendant made an arrangement to purchase her car. You made an arrangement to purchase her car over a period of time. You gave her a deposit, and according to you, the arrangement was that you would pay the balance. I think the agreed-upon price was something like $3,500, and you would pay the car, and then you would get the car.
Correct.
And according to you, you made most of those payments, all except for one.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the arrangement was that you were supposed to meet at a mechanic, check over the car, to have it smogged and everything, and then
Yes, Your
give
Honor.
her the final payment, whatever that was. What was the final payment?
Just short of...
And you received all of these money orders?
Yes.
And did you total all the money orders, Miss Willoughby?
No, I did not.
Why not? I mean, why wouldn't you total all the money orders? That would make you a pretty stupid person.
I would have totaled them at the time, but to my knowledge right now, I don't remember.
Well, if you don't remember, then I'm going to rely on her memory and the receipts. How much in total did you pay her?
I paid her $3,451.
That was in 2017.
Yes, Your Honor.
Then you said you couldn't find her.
I couldn't.
Well, she's been living at the same address.
She has. However, I had hired a process server to find her. Nobody could find her.
For all intents and purposes, Miss Willoughby, the car was paid for. For all intents and pay attention to what I'm saying. For all intents and purposes, the car was paid for. I want to know, were you having a difficult financial time? Because she never got the car. You kept her almost $3,500, which was the purchase price of the car. And I want you to explain to me so that I'm going to understand it. Why? And if you tell me the truth, we won't have a problem. If you say a boyfriend left, I had no money, whatever person who was a stranger to you paid you the money, kept her end of the bargain with the exception of $50, and you explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for. Go!
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Don't tell me what I'm not going to believe. You see, she doesn't look like a nut and say, well, I paid $3,450. I'm not going to give her the other $50 and she's not going to give me the car. You want to tell me what happened with her money and the boyfriend and your need for cash?
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nicole King says Rebecca Willoughby owes for the return of money she paid for a car but never received.
You explain to me why you did not give her what she bargained for. Go!
The last payment made was August 2017 for $300. She was supposed to pay the last payment and never did. She refused to pay me. Yes, I was going to...
Just a second. Let's go.
Ready for me? Okay.
I'm waiting for you.
No problem.
So far, we don't have an answer.
The last payment was made August.
I heard you.
She never paid me.
I heard you.
There was still an amount due.
I heard you. $50. Go. She's paid you $34.50. Go.
I wasn't going to give her the car if she didn't pay me the remainder.
Well, then what did you say to her?
I told her
No. Show me where you said to her, if you're not going to give me the last payment, because, you know, there are certain things that are logical. Do you understand?
Yes.
Logical is when you've paid practically every penny for a car that you agree to, you don't not get the car because of a $50 bill.
Of course.
You don't not get the car because of that unless something's happened to the car in the interim. Unless all the time she was giving you this money for the car, something happened to it, you spent it, the boyfriend took it, something happened to it. I want you to tell me, don't tell me what I'm not going to believe. You see, she doesn't look like a nut and say, well, I paid $3,450. I'm not going to give her the other $50 and she's not going to give me the car. That doesn't make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, Miss Willoughby, it's not true. You want to tell me what happened with her money and the boyfriend and your need for cash.
Exactly how much do those money orders add up to?
$34.50.
Do they?
Yes.
Because the last payment on the car was $300.
$34.50. And you didn't keep track. Let's go. You took the money as she gave it to you, and you and the boyfriend spent it. That's what happened over whatever period of time. 2 months, 3 months. Now you spent it. And then you had no car if you gave her the car. You want to continue? Tell me a story that I believe. All right. There you go.
But it was one payment left on it for $300.
When you sold her the car and it had clearly a lien on it, or you took out a title loan on it.
And she knew it had a lien on it.
Don't tell me what was in her head, okay?
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Are you the victim of a scam? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
You sold her what kind of car?
A 2004 Toyota Solara.
And how much was the lien that was on it?
I don't recall at the time.
Just a second. Where did you think you were coming today? To the circus?
Definitely not.
Where did you think? You're not at a circus. So if you were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend, that's not her fault.
No, it's not.
No. And that's the bottom line. You were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend.
But that's also not my fault that she didn't pay the rest of the money.
I find that she paid, she fulfilled her end of the contract, and you
prevented $50.
And you prevented her from getting her property.
No, she didn't pay the rest of the money. I'm not going to give her a car that she didn't pay for.
Okay. When the car was repossessed, how much money was left owed on it, and who was the lender?
One payment and me.
Well, you weren't the lender. Who was the lender? What bank? What financial institution?
Easy Auto Shop.
And when had you purchased the car?
2016.
What month in 2016?
I don't recall, Your Honor.
You don't recall a lot. Okay. You were hard up for cash and you had a bum for a boyfriend. I don't know whether you're a bum too, but so far you owe her $3,441. We're done. Thank you.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. And on the next Judge Judy.
I told her the car wasn't paid off completely, so the amount that she gave me goes directly to the car.
I was not aware that she had a lien on the vehicle.
And as soon as it's paid off, she gets the car.
She was using the car for her disposal. She signed a contract.
Because in the agreement, it wasn't said that the car couldn't be driven.
She voided the contract. I feel like I won.
Because I didn't receive the full amount, so she didn't receive the car, and that's final.
You know, I don't really even want the vehicle. I just want the amount.
You found CPS's number and you reported that they were abusing a child.
Was it a call out of concern?
Where was the bruise?
Directly on the top of her head.
That's very serious.
Or a nanny's payback for no paycheck?
How many requests had you made for your pay from the defendant? It doesn't look good for you.
This is Judge Judy.
20-year-old nanny Kaylee Morehouse is suing her former employers, Anna Maria and David Hudson, for unpaid nanny services.
Order. All rise. It's case number 182 on the calendar, the matter of Morehouse versus Hudson.
Thank you.
Welcome. Parties have been sworn in. You may be seated. Sir, have a seat.
Ms. Morehouse, it is your claim that the defendants owe you for wages that they didn't pay you after you were let go as their nanny.
Correct.
And I have a couple of questions for you. Some things that are marginally disturbing to me about your behavior from your own complaint. Mr. and Mrs. Hudson say they don't owe you any money because they have one of the most ridiculous counterclaims that I've actually read in a long time. They said that you put their very expensive steak knives in the dishwasher and you left the house a mess.
Your Honor.
I didn't ask you a question.
I'm sorry.
So let's start with this. Who's going to speak for the two of you?
I will.
Great. How many days did Miss Morehouse work for you?
5.
How many days did you pay her for?
0.
You have to pay her. Do you understand?
Yes. Yes.
Then you have to pay her. Did you get paid? Yes. When you went to work, you got paid, right? So if you're dissatisfied with someone's performance, just like your boss could fire you, you can fire her, which you did. You can do that. But you have to pay her for the 5 days. How many hours each of the 5 days did she work?
21.
21 hours in total.
Yes.
Is that correct?
21 and a half, Your Honor.
Oh, give me a break. I'm going to get to you in a second.
Okay.
And how much were you supposed to be paid an hour?
$15 an hour.
$315.
It was actually $322.50, but also they asked me to reimburse for them. They would reimburse me for $7, which I went and bought.
$322 because
Yes.
you worked 21 and a half hours. Great. They have to pay you $322. Great. Now, my problem, because I mentioned it to you, is they got you through a service. And one of the things that you said in your complaint, you said after 2 weeks working for the Hudsons, so you didn't work 5 days a week. You worked...
I worked 3 days a week.
You said after 2 weeks. On what date did you notice a bruise on their 5-year-old? 21.
Yes.
And what was your last day of work?
It was 5/23. It was a Thursday.
Now, when you noticed the bruise on their child and you asked her what happened, according to you, she responded that her dad got mad at her the night before.
Correct.
Which suggested that her father hit her.
Yes.
And where was the bruise?
It was directly on the top of her head.
She's 5 years old. She has hair. How do you see a bruise on top of your head?
It was more of a goose egg, so it stuck up a little bit.
Really? Well, that's really, Miss Morehouse, that's very serious.
It is.
If you, just a sec, that's very serious. That doesn't wait 2 days until you're fired. That requires you to pick up the phone and call Protective Services immediately if it's true. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
Okay. That means that you're a lousy nanny. That means exactly what I just said. That means you're a lousy nanny. If I believe what you said was true, that she had a lump on her head that you could see, and you asked her what happened, and she said, my daddy got mad at me, which means he either took a hammer, a hard object, and hit his 5-year-old over the head, and you weren't sufficiently concerned to immediately call Child Protective Services on the 21st. You waited until what date to call Child Protective Services?
I called them on June 10th.
On June 10th?
Yes.
No, just a second. June 10th. So let me figure this out. You figured the 5-year-old could wait 3 weeks because on June 10th you had already asked for your money.
Your Honor, I have never experienced anything like this before. All the families I had watched before, I've had good experiences.
How did you file Child Protective Service number on June 10th?
How?
How?
Online. I looked up the number online.
Well, that's what you do if you're a nanny.
Your Honor.
If you're I'm speaking, if you're anybody that's in charge of children, and if you legitimately believe something happened, then you, on the 21st, not June 10th, you look it up online and you get the number. So I'm going to get back to my question to you, which was, by June 10th, how many requests had you made for your pay from the defendants?
I had made...
That's a number. That's a 1, 2, 3, 4. I sent 3 texts. I sent a letter. I called. That requires a number. From the 23rd, when they fired you, until the 10th of June.
They actually let me go on my last day. My last day was the 23rd, which I had told myself.
Don't tell me a which.
I had told myself that May 23rd would be my last day. The reason I went for Thursday was because I was concerned about the kids. I wanted to know more information. I was looking for more work. I was getting married. I was going to school. Every penny counted.
I'm just telling you, your complaint concerned me. Your responsibility to the children, allegedly. And you didn't answer my question. I said, how many times did you request your pay between May 26th and June 10th from the defendants?
6 times.
And when was the last time that you requested your pay? Look at your paperwork. I assume you sent it by a text, an email, or something.
No, I had a letter written, and I had my father-in-law deliver it on June 9th.
Just a second. Okay. So the last thing was a letter that your father-in-law delivered on June 9th, and on June 10th, you went online and you found CPS's number, and you called them and reported that they were either abusing. Well, you're not even talking about neglect. You're talking about abusing a child. Yes. You understand where I'm telling you, you're entitled to your money. They have to pay you what you're owed. And you were really foolish for not paying her. Why didn't you pay her?
Because we don't have any of her information. She refuses to give it to us. We don't have an address. We don't have her birthday. We don't have a social security.
Just a second. Listen to me. You don't need any of that because you're paying her under $1,800. You're paying her $300. And what it was you didn't want to pay her. That's what it was. You didn't want to pay her, which was really foolish of you because you went through probably a whole bunch of stuff with Child Protective Services, who she called on the 10th, right? Why you were looking to get away with $322, I will never understand. Fire her. She put your knives in the dishwasher. She left the house a mess.
It was over $1,000 in damages.
To the steak knives.
They're not steak
They're
knives,
not steak knives, Your Honor. These are Wusthof chef knives, and I have that evidence here
Miss Hudson,
on what we paid.
Miss Hudson, I don't give a rat's behind how much you paid for the steak knives.
But I have
listen
text
to me.
messages.
I don't care how much you paid for the steak knives. So you gotta. I don't care what you paid for the steak knives.
I understand, but Your Honor, when I met her, I interviewed, I told her there would be a background screening. I have text messages that she would give us that information.
Just a second. You went to work for 5 days and left your children with her without a background screening.
My husband was also home.
So is he useless? Why didn't he put the knives in the right place? Do you understand? I assume your husband does something else.
Yes, he works full-time.
He works full-time from home?
Yes, correct.
Well, if he works full-time from home, then you needed somebody else to watch your children. And if she was in charge of watching your children, you left her alone with your children for 5 days without a background check, which is why I came out looking at both of you in a bizarre way.
I have text messages from her that continues to say that she's going to bring that application, that she will bring it the next time that she is going to come to our home. I made it very clear to her several times.
Your Honor, may I speak? Oh,
no.
Okay.
Should have paid her the $300 and fired her. She worked so that you could work. She worked. You worked, got paid. She's supposed to get paid.
Yes, but my husband and I spent an entire day at CPS, which I was not paid for that day.
Just a second. That's why she's not getting any money. Because I don't believe you. Is she normal?
Yes.
Responsible?
Yes, she is.
You have children?
We do not.
You have friends who have children?
Yes.
Great. If you saw one of your friend's children, toddler, with a goose egg on their head, and they told you that their father did it to them, what would you do?
I would probably seek help.
Right. Your wife didn't, and she was in charge. So I think that she didn't see what she said she saw.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
Either she didn't see what she said she saw, or she was the worst nanny I've ever heard of who saw a child with a serious injury and didn't make a call until after she'd made her 6th attempt to get paid.
And later today,
Did he agree for you to take down the fence?
Yes, he said, do what I have to do.
That's not right, Your Honor.
Sorry, you don't have the right to do that.
real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Nanny Kaylee Morehouse says former employers Anna Maria and David Hudson owe for her services. The Hudsons are countersuing for property damage, harassment, and a false CPS report.
Now, either she didn't see what she said she saw, didn't hear what she said that the child ever heard of, who saw a child, a toddler with a serious injury, who identified the perpetrator and didn't make a call until after she made her 6th attempt to get paid. Do you understand?
Yes.
So you're entitled to your $322, and they're entitled to their $322 for the day they wasted with CPS. We're done. Thank you very much. It's a wash. I just told you that's my decision. Do you understand?
Yes, I do, but I also have a letter.
She's not paying for your knives. Goodbye.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
Get to know the family a little bit better before you accept the job.
She was a very bad nanny, and this was a horrible, horrible experience for our family.
There was a bruise on the child's head.
I will show the paperwork from CPS showing that it was completely unfounded.
To call sooner than later.
It's absolutely necessary to have a background check before you bring anyone into your home.
And now the next case.
All parties in the matter of Frazier versus Ledette. Step forward.
Cheryl Frazier is suing her neighbor, Leon Ledette, for his share of the cost of a new common fence and the return of money she paid for the previous fence.
Miss Frazier, let me see if I can understand the nature of your claim. You and the defendant are neighbors, and there is a fence that separates the two properties. At some point, you made an agreement, the common fence, which had deteriorated, that you would pay him $1,250, which included the materials that he was going to use to replace the fence. And you gave him, I think, $750 for materials. When the fence was finished, you would owe him a balance of $500 that was supposed to be due on completion. He did, in fact, take down the old fence.
Correct.
And he put up a new picket fence. When the job was completed, you looked at it and didn't like it, and you took it down, and you brought in someone else to put up a new fence.
Correct.
And you want Mr. Ledette to return to you the $750 that he spent on materials, plus half of what it cost you to put up the new fence.
I'm asking for half of what his portion of the fence is and $500 of what I gave him back.
Just a second. Miss Frazier, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Mr. Ledette took down the fence and put up a fence.
Correct.
Did he agree for you to take down the fence? That's either a yes or a no.
Yes, he said, do what I have to do.
That's not right, Your Honor.
Sorry, you don't have the right to do that. Just for my office of what you put up, Mr. Ledette.
Yes, Your Honor.
I'd like to see photographs of what you took down, Miss Frazier. I'd like to also see photographs of the fence that you put up in its place.
Here you go, sir.
Hers.
Hers.
His.
Okay, let's take a look at his first. For my information, Mr. Ledette, whose property did the pickets face? There's a backside of the fence and a front side.
The backside is facing my home, and the picket faces are facing Mrs. Cheryl, correct?
Is that correct?
Yes.
And so I'm going to show this to you and ask you if this is a fair and accurate representation of what Mr. Ledette built.
Yes.
Okay.
But you can see on his photographs that on his side, there's not a third, the middle rung. There's supposed to be a top rail, a middle rail, and a bottom rail. And he didn't even put in the middle rail.
Just a second. Did you have a contract with him to put in a middle rail?
That's how it was before. That's the fence he took down.
Continues in a moment.
If you spent a little extra money, that's your problem.
But
that's the story.
No, it's not.
That's exactly the story.
He doesn't mention anything about my
Ms.
two
Fraser,
gates.
you had absolutely no right to tear down the fence.
Real cases, real people. Judge Judy.
Cheryl Fraser says neighbor Leon Ledette owes for his share of a new common fence and the return of money she paid for the old one. Leon is countersuing for money owed and destroyed property.
Okay, I'm just saying to you, I'm looking at this fence, and this fence looks reasonable. From your side, it looks just fine. And you can't tell it has one post or two posts or three posts
That's
from
correct.
your side.
And that's why I didn't know it at first until I had my contractor come out and look at it.
Okay, I don't care. Whatever the situation is, I've looked at your pictures. I've looked at his pictures of his completed work. You had no right to take it down. You had no right to take down his work. Now, how do you like the fence that she put up? Is the fence that she put up okay?
Oh, yes, Your Honor, it is.
It is.
It's the same identical fence.
Oh, excuse me.
There are a lot of pictures here. I want you to just take out pictures of the fence that you put up.
The new fence?
The new fence.
Okay.
Well,
I stained it, yes.
You stained the fence.
The stain has nothing to do with it.
You stained the fence.
The stain has nothing to do with it.
This would have been the same look.
No.
This would have been the same look. Well,
no, if you look at my other pictures, my pictures of the work he did.
Oh, I'd like to see your pictures. I'm just looking at his pictures. You said that this
I
was
have pictures,
a fair
I have
and
many
accurate
pictures.
representation of what the fence looked like.
Yes,
that
but
he
not
completed.
all of what it looked like. I mean, what he showed you, yes.
I'd like to see it.
And
nothing, just a second. Nothing wrong with this. Yeah, I can see that the pickets aren't all as straight as your pickets are.
And if you look at...
You had no right to take down the fence.
Well, the police said I did.
I don't care what the police said. I don't see anybody here. And a police officer is not a judge.
I know that.
And the police officer isn't here. You had no right to take down the fence.
Judge Judy continues in a moment. Closed captioning sponsored by...
Want justice? Go to judgejudy.com. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
As you said, I don't like this, I'm taking it down. It's as much yours as it is mine. So you get nothing. If you spent a little extra money, that's your problem.
But that's not the exact story.
Just a second. That's the story.
No, it's not.
That's exactly the story. You agreed with him to pay him $1,250. You gave him $750
it also
for materials.
Included the gates. He doesn't mention anything about my two gates.
Ms. Fraser, you had absolutely no right to tear down the fence. And if you think you did, you have at least one police officer who agrees with you, but I don't.
All right.
You had no right to take down his fence. Now, you got a new fence?
Yes, Your Honor.
She had no right to take down your fence, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You got a bargain with a new redwood fence.
Yes, Your Honor.
Other than the fact that she had no right to take it down, you have no basis for a counterclaim. You're not in any worse shape. She paid for the materials, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so we're done. Your case is dismissed. We're finished. Thank you very much.
While you are excused, you may step out.
Judge Judy continues in a moment.
He did not do the work that he agreed to do.
The fence was completed, it was done, and it was a professional job as well.
I couldn't live with it.